Good afternoon, friends. Today is July 29th, 2017. Happy Saturday to everyone. Today we're going to read from Colossians 4:6. It says, "Let your speech be always with grace, seasoned with salt, that ye may know how ye ought to answer every man." Now, what does this mean? Well, first of all, I want you to think about something. When we use salt on our food, we're seasoning that food to make a better taste and to a better flavor, a better liking to others as well as ourselves, because if you don't put any seasoning on your food, it's very bland and very just not real good usually. So it's sort of like this when it says, "Let your speech be with grace, seasoned with salt, that ye may know how ye ought to answer every man." In other words, what we project out of our mouth can be very, very discerning. If you don't speak with grace and speak, it's like letting your inner self show outwardly to other people by what comes out of your mouth. And it's sort of like these flowers you see going along as I'm talking to you. You see the beauty in the flower as it grows and it blossoms, it blooms, and you see the beauty that God has created. Well, God created us, and His light shines through us as we grow, as we go through life, and we project ourselves to others. So when we speak, we need to speak in a way that is favorable in the Lord's eyes as well as to others, because how we project ourselves to others shows who we are and what we are and how we are. So when we speak with grace, it's saying that we try to avoid speaking about evil. We try not to yell at people. We try not to do bad things to people, because words can hurt as much as a hit can hurt. And so when we speak, we try to speak with sincerity, without lying, and without trying to be flattering anyone, and things like this. So what comes out of our mouth is very important, because it is a way of our expression, of course, but even in anger, words can be very bad and very hurtful. So we need to, just as we season our food to make it nice, we need to season our words and speak with truth and with honesty and with grace, so that others can see the beauty of the Lord shining through you. So when it says that we might know how ye ought to answer every man, there's going to be times when we are angered by what someone else might say to us or do to us. But if we can hold our composure and not get angry back and let bad words come out of our mouth, then sometimes that gives spiritual wisdom, and it can prevent corrupt communication, because sometimes you can turn the whole picture around by what comes out of your mouth. In other words, if you want to go back and get in an argument or whatever like that, then it could escalate from that and get even into a more serious situation, where if you can come back with words of kindness and counteract the bad, then sometimes it can be turned around and it will settled down, and then something that could have otherwise been a bad happening can be prevented. I realize that's a hard feat to do, because there's times when no matter what you say, it doesn't matter, because we're not always dealing with nice people in the world, and we're not always dealing with Christians. And when we go up against evil, we have to show that we're better than that evil, because the Lord knows what comes out of our mouth. He knows what's in our heart. But through grace, we sweeten the conversation by giving things to others, like help, and by talking to someone in a positive manner versus a negative manner. Sometimes we can help that person. And let's face it, that's one of our jobs as Christians, is to help others and to do what we can. So through talking with good words and honesty words, things from the heart, because that is what helps in the world, because we live in a very evil world, and I do believe that things are going to get worse and worse as time goes. But just like in Colossians 3:16, it says to let the word of Christ dwell in you richly in all wisdom. And we are fairer than the children of men. Grace is poured into your life by Psalms 45:2. And my mouth shall show forth your righteousness and your salvation, in Psalm 71:15 through 18. So there's many, many places in the Bible that talk about words and what comes out of our mouth. Just like Psalms 105:2 says, sing to him, sing psalms to him. Talk to you of all his wondrous words. So basically, I just wanted to touch on this today, because being a human being, yes, we do get mad, and we do let things come out sometimes that sometimes we're sorry for, but once they're said, it's hard to take them back sometimes. Just like Matthew 5:13 tells us, you are the salt of the earth, but if the salt has lost its flavor. And I think that means, once it comes out, that's the way it is then. And so 1 Peter 3:15 tells us, but sanctify the Lord God in your heart. So sometimes we have to be the bigger person and the other to show that, not that we're per se better than someone else, but that we can keep control of the situation, because you never can hurt anyone with kindness. And this is my take on today's verse, and I hope that it gives you something to think about. I'm sorry this one is a little long, but it was a lot involved, and I wanted to look at it in all respects that I could. So I hope you have a nice weekend. I hope you have a safe weekend. And remember, I'm always praying for everyone. And may God shine his light through you and project you in a good way of grace and in a positive way to others. I love you, and may God bless you, and I will talk to you soon. Thank you for listening. Bye-bye.